So you've decided to start a 9x12 card or perhaps a community card. Um, and the first thing you want to do is just jump in, hit the ground running. And a lot of people say to do that, just do it. You know, it's not rocket science. Um, so just start, just do it. And it's true, it's not rocket science, but if you don't do some things up front, I think you're going to end up being frustrated down the road, because there are certain things you really should do to organize yourself and establish your business before you start selling. It's much better to do it now than get down the road and all of a sudden you're affecting your brand. Basically, you may be changing your brand. You're having trouble getting organized. There are just many headaches that can kind of blow up in your face once you start getting the ball rolling, and you don't think about those up front. So these are the 8 things that I think are critical, or at least important, in getting started in the 9x12 business, and for that matter, any business where you're the chief everything officer. So let's start with number 1. Number 1, decide if you're going to be an ad agency, an advertising company, or a print broker that has an advertising product. If all you're going to do is the card and you're not interested in expanding into printed products and things, ad agency is fine. You're going to limit yourself to your purchasing power as far as the printing, but it's okay. You'll be the end user. You'll be responsible for all the taxes, and it's very simple. If you want to expand into printing, banners, brochures, business cards, things like that, then you will really want to set yourself up as a print broker, and be an officially classified as a print reseller, so that you can get your tax resale certificate, and then all the trade printing businesses will accept you as a print reseller, and you'll be able to get the best prices in the country, really. So that's one critical step. Decide what you want to be and take it from there. Getting your reseller number is usually very simple. It depends on the state. If your state doesn't have any sales tax, it's a non-issue. But usually, I did mine online, and it was almost instantaneous. It took me a few days to get the paperwork in the mail, but didn't stop me from progressing in my business. So that is probably the most important, because that changes your whole business outlook. Number 2 is to go ahead and choose a business name. Now, when I say business name, understand there's basically 3 parts to the 9x12. There is your business entity, which is you. You are the business. You are the sole proprietor. It's your name. And all you have to do is say, I'm starting a business, and you're in business. Your name is the entity. You are it. The name you trade under, that's what you want to worry about, your business name. You want to establish your DBA, or doing business as, name. And you don't want something depending on what your business structure is in number one, you don't want something that's going to box yourself in. Do you think that maybe down the road you might want to expand into, printing? Then I would say don't box yourself in with a name that means you're only doing mailing or advertising. You can be anything. Think of something that's fitting and is a little universal. Just don't box yourself in, because you never know what opportunity is going to come up. You want something that can evolve and grow. So think about it carefully. And then the third part is your product name. What are you going to call your card? And that is not your business name. That is a product, not your business name. Just remember that. There's 3 levels here. There's your entity name, which is you. If you're just a sole proprietor, it is your name. You'll go in under your social security number usually. And then you have your DBA, you're doing business as. That's the public facing company name that you will use, and that will stay the same no matter what you do. If you get super successful, you want to go to LLC or some form of corporation in the future, it's not a big deal. That is the entity name in the background. It doesn't change your DBA. So you would just change from your name to the LLC name or corporate name, DBA, whatever your company name is. And then finally the product, and that's it's just a product. You can offer multiple products as a service of your business name. So choose a name. That's the most important thing before you get started. You don't want to be changing branding midstream or rethinking things. That's only going to confuse the market, confuse your customers, and in some ways confuse yourself. But just get grounded there first before you start. Number 3 is register your business. There's nothing more important than making sure you are officially registered with your state or county or city. There's different levels depending on your location. You want to make sure you're legal, because if you're not, that can be very costly. When you register, it's usually only like $25. You'll register usually your entity name and your DBA. And you'll want to get all the tax information. How is the state going to treat your advertising? Is it going to be taxable, non-taxable? Most states it's non-taxable. A lot of states are making provisions to make some of this stuff taxable. You just want to make sure you are legal, because the fines can be tremendous if they find you conducting business without having properly registered and without properly collecting taxes. So this is a very critical point before you start selling. And in most cases, the state will send you your certificate for collecting tax if you're going to do that. If you're going to be a print reseller, you want to carry that all the time. Carry a copy of it, not the original. And it usually says that you're required to carry that at all times if you are out selling. So be sure you get it done. I mean, literally, the fines can be hundreds or even thousands for conducting business without it. Number 4, and people don't think about this much, but number 4 is get a private mailbox. You want to isolate your public-facing business from your personal information. You don't really want to make your home address public. It's just not a good idea, basically. And it makes business easier. You want to segregate your business address from your home address. It's just smart business to keep things segregated. And I say get a private mailbox rather than a USPS mailbox, because private mailboxes have a different presence. They appear to be a regular commercial address. You'll usually get a street address with a number, and it looks more like a suite than a P.O. box. The other advantage is most private P.O. box services, once you rent a mailbox, you get the privilege of having packages shipped there, and that can save you tons of money. If you're self-fulfilling and you're having cards shipped to you, one example I give is on a 2500 9x12 for what I would do as a community card. The difference between my home address and the private post office box service down the road, a mile down the road, is $113. And that's a huge amount of money. I mean, that's, profit you're throwing away otherwise. So there's many advantages. It gives you a good commercial address, looks like a commercial presence, gives you the advantage of receiving those packages at a greatly reduced rate, because carriers have different rate schedules for residential and commercial delivery. So that is a very important thing. And it'll cost you, I think my going postal was $80 for the year. And you make that up in one shipment. So it's just a smart thing to do. And you won't, if something goes bad, you won't have people trying to drive by and throw rocks through your window or something like that. So, okay. Okay, the next one, number 5, is to set up a VoIP phone account. Again, this goes right along with the separate address. You want a separate phone number for your business. It keeps calls segregated, and you know when to answer the phone very professionally. It gives you an outbound caller ID with a different number. You can call from your phone through the app, and they will know who's calling. They'll have your caller ID. It won't be your personal number. Again, this keeps business and personal calls segregated and makes you look more professional. You can go very simply with just a number and forward the call to your cell phone, and then use the app for outbound calls so that the caller ID shows up. Or you can go to one of the more sophisticated services that has voicemail and auto attendant. I think that's going over the top. They sound nice to some people, but to me, it's you don't want to sound like you're bigger than you really are. People are going to know. I hate auto attendants, and I'm sure you do too. So it's just much better to, ring directly to your phone if you're not able to take the call that will go into voicemail. And then just be sure to return the call as quickly as possible. That's much better than an auto attendant or any AI things you can add on. And here's another important part of this. I recommend going to Number Barn. They deal in phone numbers. That's all they do. You can go, you can buy a phone number, it's yours to keep, and then you can do with it whatever you want. If you go through Grasshopper or something like that and get a number through them, it really belongs to them. You're not going to be able to port it to a different service or even to a regular phone system. So it's very critical that you buy your number. You own it. Number Barn's a great place to do it. You don't need to spend hundreds of dollars. I got a number ending in 9,000. You know, it's a very simple number, and it's not in my hometown. It's nearby, and I paid, I think, $25 for it, but it's mine. I can port it to any VoIP phone service I want. I can port it to my cell phone if I wanted to put like a dual SIM in my phone. It has that capability. The phone has eSIM, so you could actually add a second SIM and handle the calls that way. There's many options, but the simplest thing is, and I forward my calls with Number Barn. I use their forwarding service, and their app cost me like $8 a month, and it's well worth it. And I set it up with most of these forwarding services. You have a choice. You can have it forward the caller ID, or you can have it forward the caller ID of your number. And I choose to do that because that's the way I know when that call's coming in. That number will show, and I know it's a business call, and I know how to answer the call. And you can use that creatively to market different areas also, because what it displays, or the number it displays, you can assign an ID in your phone, and you could buy different numbers for different areas to make you look local, and then those calls are forwarded to you, and you can set up the ID in your phone to say which area it's coming from and know immediately, A, they're calling about business, B, what area they're calling about, so you can hit the ground running talking about the local market. The thing you want to think about that, again, we're talking expansion, not starting out, but these are why you want to put these things in place, so you have room to expand and a avenue to expand, and a strategy, so that it doesn't become totally confusing once you start adding more and more business. Okay, number 6 is to set up your banking, your payment system. Now that you have all the pieces, you have your entity name, your DBA name, you have a commercial address, and you have a commercial phone number. Now's the time where you want to set up for how you're going to do your banking and take care of payments. There's a lot of payment systems out there. You can get a local bank account, and places like Square will, transfer the funds to your local bank account. There's really a lot of systems out there to use. I favor Square. They just make the process so easy. They'll set you up with their bank, and you'll have an account at their bank, and they'll issue a debit card, which makes moving funds or using funds, very simple. Like if you get all your payments through Square, and now your account is funded, and you can simply take your debit card and order the printing, and it works out well. The other nice thing about Square is in the Square app, you can take paper checks. Just like if you're depositing a check with your personal account, you can take a picture of that paper check, and it will be processed and put into your account. I know there's others, there's Stripe and things like that. Obviously, if you're going to try to do everything online, you need a payment gateway of some sort. Stripe does that. Square also does that. But my personal favorite is Square. And you also have the Square app. Depending what your phone is, you have available card scanners that you can just tap and do the transaction. You can enter your card in like a product. You can put your different ad sizes in, and it's just boom, boom. Here we have a standard ad, we have a double ad, we have a half ad. And I even have some of my discount structure. They can pay for 3 months ahead, and that's all just a button push, and take their card and tap it, and you're done. Or take their check and scan it, you're done. So that's very important. You want to be ready to start selling, and you don't want to start fumbling and having to deal with finances after the fact. You could expand on that and do like Zoho accounting to really set your business up. If you're getting into more things, I really don't recommend QuickBooks. They are popular, but I think they're far from the best. There's too many separate entities that make QuickBooks now, and the right hand doesn't know what the left hand is doing. And they are also a high fraud target. So if you want to go into a regular accounting system, I've looked at Zoho, and I'm probably going to transition to that myself. So, all right, let's go to number 7. Okay, number 7. And a lot will say it's not important, but I think it is. I really believe you should go ahead and get a domain name. You don't have to worry about a website, but get your domain name. Lock that in. Keep somebody else from locking it in and locking you out. It's good to have a domain and a landing page. You don't need to build a landing page. You can simply forward the domain to a Facebook business page, which is very easy to build out, but it gives you protection over your domain name, and sometimes that's really all you need. It helps make you seem more credible, and actually Facebook might even be more credible than just a simple landing page, but it does make a difference. And as you expand, you may find there's opportunities to expand services through your domain name. So that's something very important. A lot of people overlook it, don't think it's that important, and it's not critical in the beginning, but I still think it's important. I won't say it's critical, but it again lends to your credibility and makes you look like an established business. You're not just a pop-up that's going to disappear overnight. very, very important to me, though I wouldn't call it critical. But I think you should do it before you even start out. And finally, number 8 is, and this is probably one of the most critical pieces of all, create your Google business listing. People will, that's one of the first things people are going to do. They're going to Google you to see if you're listed and if you have any reviews or ratings. Now you're brand new, so you're not going to have reviews or ratings, but it's going to be important if they Google you and you're not found anywhere. If you have a presence, if you're registered, you've got a Google listing, you don't need to pinpoint yourself on the map. You're more of a virtual business, so you can literally draw a territory, a coverage map on your Google Maps listing. So I pretty much have my whole county highlighted without pinpointing my exact location. So they see the service area that I cover. And, people will check. This is, and this is going to be one of the most important things you do. I mean, it puts you on the map literally, and it makes you look like a real established local business. And that is priceless. I don't know what more to say. So there you have it. Those are the 8 things that I think are critical to starting. Again, the 9x12 business is not rocket science, but as many people have found, it can get really big, really fast. And once you're successful, you learn the quirks of your local market, and you're eager to expand into other markets. And you can usually do it very quickly. And if you don't have the tools in place to manage all of this, it's going to become overwhelming, and you won't be able to expand. You'll hit a brick wall. So I really recommend doing all of these things, and life will be a lot easier down the road. The next in my series is going to be actually putting the tools together for your 9x12 business.